Hello everybody, my name is Hassan Nafid. I am an anatomy and physiology instructor at Madison College in Wisconsin. We will continue talking about our anatomy and physiology series. This time we will talk about body positions, body planes, and body locations. We identified three positions for our body that can assume. We have the sitting position and we have the standing position, or what we call the erect position, where the person is standing on the feet and his arms are on the side. And this is known as the anatomical position, where the palms are facing to the front, like that, and the thumbs are facing to the side. And in this position, the person will assume a standing position where his palms are facing to the front and is standing. The third position is a lying position, and here we could identify two positions. A supine position, where the person is lying on his back with his face facing upwards, and a prone position, which the position that the body is laying or the person is laying on his face with the face facing downwards. Also, there is a unique position called a coma position, and this is a position sometimes used by the medical personnel to help somebody who is in a coma in a better position that will protect him from other complications of coma, like aspiration or any other complications. Body locations, we identified many locations. Some of it is towards the top of the body, and I'm going to use this model here to share some locations with you. A position towards the top of the body is known as superior position, while a position towards the lower part of the body is known as inferior position. A position located in the front of the body is known as frontal or ventral or anterior. The three are correct to call. Or a position that is in the back of the body, if I turn this model this way, so the position that is towards the back of the body is known as posterior position or dorsal position or in the back. Another position is a position that is located to the side, or we can say away from the midline. If this is the midline, this position is going to be away from the midline, and this is known as lateral position. A position that is close to the midline is known as median position. So medial and lateral position. A position also that is on the same side of anatomical structure. Let's say this is a lateral position here on the right side. So a position on the same side would be called ipsilateral, which means on the same side and towards the side that is away from the body. So ipsilateral. A position that is contralateral is a position that is to the opposite side. So if this is the right lateral side, then the left lateral side would be a contralateral position to the right lateral side. Another position or location is superficial, which is towards the surface of the body or closer to the surface of the body, while a position that is away or towards the inner part of the body is known as a deeper position. Another position that can be identified is called distal or proximal. And this is a relative position. It is relative to anatomical structure or anatomical landmark that we know and we identify in our body. If I bring the camera a little bit closer to give you an example here, take a look at the knee, which is going to be the right knee here. Anything that is away from the knee and towards the floor, like here, would be distal to the knee, while any position that is away from the knee and towards the top of the body is known as proximal. I'm going to use this side here. There is more light here. So if this is the knee, any position here which is away from the knee and towards the top is going to be proximal to the knee. And a position that is away from the knee and towards the floor is going to be called distal to the knee. So this is a relative position. A lot of anatomical landmarks are used to talk or describe any structures or locations as distal or proximal. The belly button, for example, the nipples, for example, the eyes, for example, and so forth. So we could say, for example, the belly button is inferior to the chest, or we could say the belly button is distal to the chest. Likewise, we could say at the same time the knee is proximal to the ankle but is distal to the belly button. So to summarize, these body locations are superior, inferior. Put this back a little bit to share with you again. So superior and inferior, lateral and medial, anterior and posterior, superficial and deep, contralateral and ipsilateral. Also, we could talk about any direction towards the head as cephalic, and any here, this is known as cephalic position, and any position that is towards the lower back is called caudal positions. Talking about body planes, we identified body planes that we can talk about here, and these are imaginary planes. They're not real, and they're used to divide the body into parts or into pieces to help understand and analyze structures or symptoms. It is used obviously in radiology, like CT scans, like MRIs. All these machines, what do? They make body sections or slices to help understand and to help analyze pathological phenomena. I'm going to show you one of these sections here. For example, this is a section. Bring it a little closer. And if you can see, this is a bone here, showing bone. Obviously, it's a smaller bone, and a muscle, 2 or 3 bulks of muscles here. So this is probably a section of the upper arm, and it shows the humerus here. This is a cross section. So these planes are used to make these sections. We're gonna go over these planes. This plane here which is right in the middle. It's got a gray color to it. So if I turn it back here, obviously it divides the body into two equal halves, right and left. This is known as the mid-sagittal plane. The mid-sagittal plane is a plane that divides the body into two equal halves, right and left. The yellow board, if I turn it this way, you're going to find out this board or this plane divides the body into two parts, a posterior part and an anterior part, or a front and a back. And this position is known as the coronal plane. The other plane that we could identify here, I'm going to tip this over a little bit so to show you, is this yellow board, and this is known as the cross-sectional plane or the transverse plane, and it just sections the body at any levels, like this sections you see here. This is a section, if you can tell, at the level of the chest, and it shows the two lungs, and it's showing the vertebra in the back here. So this is a cross section of the body at the level of the chest. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you in another video in one of our anatomy sessions.